What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tino here, and we're here today for TTW episode number 16, as we're going to chat about what happened at last night's Friday Night Smackdown, as I was there live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We're going to talk about the Women's Championship Tournament being announced. We're going to talk about all the other news and notes and rumors going on in the WWE, as we're going to end the week here on Tino's Time with this episode, as we will not be here live tomorrow for NFL games, but we'll be back on Monday for more Monday Night Raw as we continue the road to Survivor Series. War Games in 2 weeks from today. But before we get to all the news and notes, let's get to the chat. Let's see who's all in here as of right now. If you are new, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff, everybody. Did you miss me yesterday? What a good Smackdown it was. But we got Hassan in the house. What's up, Hassan? Let's roll up. He said, Hassan, mid-card titles. AEW Collision. Good night, Tino. You'll be here on Monday Night Raw. I will be here on Monday. You already know. What's up, Michelle? Happy to see you here. And yes, we did see the return of Shinsuke Nakamura. Seeing that in person was cool. And it's good to see Shinsuke Nakamura back because we've talked about it a lot. I've always talked about how much I love Shinsuke Nakamura, how much I think he is underutilized, underappreciated, and the fact that he did win that Royal Rumble, didn't win the title against AJ Styles, and then became what he has become. We need to get Shinsuke Nakamura back and having a title around his waist, and we need Shinsuke back that we had in the NXT. You'll love to see it. I'm so happy to see him back. We will talk about Friday Night Smackdown and everything that did happen last night. But before we do all of that, let's talk about all the other things that have happened. Yesterday, we also had the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. If you were able to watch it without the buffering, let me know what you guys thought about it and what you guys thought about the show in general. I literally got home as the Tyson start fighted, but I couldn't watch it because it was all buffery and all that. But let me know, did you guys have the same problems? But yeah, let's talk about, and let's get to it, and let's talk about what Kayla Becker had to say about what she was doing. And just, we haven't heard from her in a while. Yes, you are right. The WWE money is why I could afford a Netflix subscription, or maybe because of the part-time job I had at McDonald's when I was 18, first signed up. I don't know. Clearly can't relate. So if this is what she is referring to, obviously everybody last night on Netflix was having a problem as it was buffering, it was circling, it was not having itself a good time at all. And apparently it was just not fun for anybody to watch and anybody to enjoy. And the fact that Netflix is going to be on Raw, that's my biggest worry, is that what we had happen on Netflix yesterday is what may happen on Raw. And if there's just too many people watching Raw, then there's going to be a lot of things that we will have to wait and see, because I'm not going to watch Raw for 3 hours buffering and seeing pixelated Rock and Cena. That's just not going to be fun. But speaking of that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight last night, we saw Logan Paul, or Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, I don't know. Anyway, Logan Paul, after the fight, was talking shit to Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was talking shit to him. And it looks like we could possibly be getting a fight between between these two in the future. We'll have to see. But Mike Tyson, I don't know, guys. He didn't look too good after the first few rounds. The man is 59 years old almost, and he just, obviously, you get it up in age and everything. He still looked great for his age and everything. But I don't know, man. I just like the wrestlers, like Undertaker, etc., etc. You don't want to see these guys go past their prime, because then they just start deteriorating their legacy and the career that they did have. But speaking of somebody that is having a great career right now, and that's Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Dirty Dominic had mommy, he's got wifey, he's got stepmommy, and now Miss Money in the Bank wants him. Tiffany Stratton not only wants Liv Morgan's championship, but she also wants Dirty Dominic. Dirty Dominic, guys, one lucky guy. And he just gets everything. But it is cool to see Dominic be able to do what he's doing. It's cool to see him be one of the biggest heels in the WWE. And see him be one of the guys that we just have went on and continues to be, and continues to build his legacy as one of the biggest heels in WWE. And it would be kind of funny, though, if the women's title started to, like, control where Dominic went. Where, like, if Liv loses the title to Tiffany, then Dominic is in love with Tiffany. And then if Tiffany loses it, that would just be hysterical. Dominic just playing hot potato. I mean, I don't think anybody would be complaining to be in Dominic's shoes, but, you know, that would be kind of funny. Also, UFC fighter in herself, a fighter in herself, Mrs. Lola Vice, she said, I didn't like that at all. There are people that did not like the fight. There are people that did like the fight. There's people that, okay. I don't know if you really like the fight, but again, and I'm not saying like it was awful, but again, it was a money grab. It was, again, it's one of those things that you see like when you see like a WrestleMania match, like John Cena and The Rock. That's a perfect example of them doing that and them using that as a way to get people for a year to get excited about it and to have what would be, everything else like that. But, they always hype up these fights to be more than it actually is. They always hype wrestling events and anything in general to be more, even football games. Like, they hype these games up sometimes, and then the score's like 37-6, and it's like, really? Did we just sit here and hype this game up all week? For what reason at all? Made no sense. But, we'll have to see what Mike Tyson does in the future. But if you did watch it, and if you had all those problems, I'm sorry, because that just is not okay. Now, let's talk about something that Mr. Mark Henry had to say. As Mark Henry had this to say about love in the workplace. And I want to make sure I get the exact quote up for you and everything. But how do you guys feel? And I know a lot of the wrestlers and everything else like that, they have, they spend a lot of time with each other. So that's pretty much why they get together. But Mark Henry says this. He says dating has no place in the workplace, especially in pro wrestling. You don't get with another wrestler, you don't date them, you don't flirt with them, you don't hang out with them unless it's work related. That's what Mark Henry had to say. And I feel like this is very confrontational because, they do spend a lot of time together. They do, you spend a lot of time with a person, that's why, like in the reality shows, you get stuck in a house with somebody or on an island with somebody for 30 or 100 days. You fall in love, you like them, you spend, that's just what happens. But, if you love who you love and everything. But Mark Henry had a controversial opinion about that. I wanted to hear what you guys had to say about how do you guys feel, because we obviously have a lot of relationships with Montez and Bianca, Charlotte and Andrade, Becky and Seth, to name a few. We could name so many. We'll be here. We'll just do a whole TTW episode on wrestling related couples. But we can't do that. But speaking of somebody that we have seen now being feuded with the Wyatt Six is the Final Testament. And apparently, Karrion Kross is doing some scouting as he wants the returning Miss Alexa Bliss to come and join the Final Testament. I don't know how Scarlett would feel about this, but Karrion Kross said he would happily welcome her to the Final Testament, and there's nothing but respect for Miss Alexa Bliss. I think at this point, we probably don't see Alexa Bliss till the Royal Rumble. She very well could enter number 30, and she could very well come out and have like a very good showing and maybe even be one of the finalists, because as I said and as we've seen, we really have not seen her really, and she's been recovering and everything. And I think at this point, like I said, I think the best time would be the Royal Rumble, and let's just make the Royal Rumble the biggest it could ever be. But Alexa Bliss in the Final Testament, what do you guys think about that? Speaking of that, though, a few weeks ago, last week, we saw the ECW 2300 arena, I should say, as we saw them have themselves a good night. And now there are rumors and reports being told out that we could see a ECW One Night Stand every year for the NXT brand. We've seen with NXT Superstars, or NXT pay-per-views, PLEs, not Superstars. We've seen that in the past where they brought back old pay-per-views like Halloween Havoc, the Great American Bash, etc., etc. And now it looks like we're getting ECW One Night Stand back again. I mean, I love them bringing back all these old pay-per-views. Bad Blood. I mean, we could go on and on. I don't know. Those were the ones that I grew up watching, and they were always just so good, especially like the theme about it. Bad Blood just recently happened, like I just said. Halloween Havoc in your house. They do them all for the most part, and it's just really cool. And I love that NXT does that. And I do hope we do see a night where they have extreme rules and anything goes, no matter what. Now let's talk about The Rock. As The Rock had this to say. He said if you are a new wrestling fan, and if you are trying to get hooked to the new stuff, he says that you need to watch WrestleMania 40. And after you watch WrestleMania 40, you will be hooked to the WWE. Now, I don't know if I agree with that statement exactly, but what I do agree with is that WrestleMania 40 was a very good show. WrestleMania 40 was one of those shows that I think that we will always go back and watch. At least I definitely will go back and rewatch a lot, because I think that it's just one of those things that, it's a great show. Everybody went out there and put on a great performance. Every match had a story for the most part, and every match had some type of something or another to be able to go out there and have something to say. So I do agree with The Rock in that, but I'm not going to say that it's the greatest show of all time. And I'm definitely not going to say it's going to get a new wrestling fan hooked, because everybody's different. But again, there is also a new, and there is also, a little bit of everything for everybody in wrestling right now. But let's talk about also is we have another returning PLE event that we used to have back in the day, and that is Saturday Night Main Event, as we will be seeing that return in the near future, and we will be having that return on January 25th in San Antonio, Texas. Shawn Michaels, Saturday Night Main Event. It's going to be interesting, and I cannot wait to see what happens. As I said, we will be live here for the Saturday Night Main Event. I think it's in December. I think it's December 14th. Let's see, December. Yeah, I think it's December 14th. We will be here live for that on Saturday. On that Saturday, at least. Speaking of a match before we get to that match, let's talk about this, because this is something we need to get to. Ruthless Aggression wrestlers need to be more, and they need to be appreciated more. And we need to start with giving guys like Mr. Kennedy and so many others in the Ruthless Aggression their flowers, because you guys know the Ruthless Aggression is one of the greatest eras of all time. It's one of the best eras to ever be and ever will be. And it's just one of those things that is just exciting, and it's just one of those things that, I think needs to happen. We need to see more appreciation for these Ruthless Aggression era wrestlers, because if it wasn't for them, we would not be here today. So let's appreciate those Ruthless Aggression era wrestlers, and let's put it on. And let's put on a good day, and let's put on a good show. But, yeah, that's what I got to say about that. Like I said, we could do a whole list of Ruthless Aggression superstars, but I didn't want to say that what Matt Cardona had to say, because I do agree with him, and I completely I agree with everything that he said with that. Also, we have this to talk about, and we have Wade Barrett possibly coming back for a match with Drew McIntyre. Wade Barrett, we've seen him on commentary for a long time. We obviously know that he was the leader and the guy that ran over and did the Nexus stuff, and he was the leader of Nexus, and he did his thing, and it was a great time for him. But we have not seen him wrestle in a long time. But Wade Barrett and Drew McIntyre are huge rivals. We've seen it go down, and we've seen it, we've seen them, I guess not huge rivals, I shouldn't say that, but they are friends. And I think Wade Barrett coming back for one more match like that and one more rivalry would be great. And he's another guy, the reason why I did want to talk about this is because he is a guy that we could see possibly be on and be in the Royal Rumble match. The Royal Rumble, literally, I know we say it all the time, but the Royal Rumble match this year could literally be one of the greatest, next year, could be one of the greatest Royal Rumble matches of all time. Before we get to what I want to talk about and what this show is about, let's talk about what happened on Friday Night Smackdown last night. And then I want to show you guys the stuff that I got. And we had the NXT vlog yesterday before we left for Friday Night Smackdown. Thank you for everybody that did check that out. Go and check that out if you have not yet, as it is live on the channel after we're done here today. It is the vlog that was the CW and NXT debut in Chicago on October 1st. Make sure that you go and check that out after we're done. I will have a vlog for yesterday's SmackDown coming out in a few weeks. As I said, this one's going to be coming out a lot quicker than the NXT one. Keep an eye out for that. But now let's talk about Friday Night SmackDown. Because we saw Kevin Owens have a little promo packages. He called out he called out Cody Rhodes and made some comments about Randy Orton after he had his Lamborghini situation. After we saw Randy and Kevin communicating and doing all of that stuff, yeah. But we did see all of that. And then we also saw Big Bronson Reed join Solo and the New Bloodline, as it looks like we will be seeing Bronson Reed be the 5th member of Solo's War Games team. We saw the Motor City Machine Guns and the Street Profits match end in a disqualification, as we saw DIY, Tommaso Ciampa, and Johnny Gargano come out. And Tommaso Ciampa seems to turn heel on Johnny Gargano, and it looks like we could very well be seeing Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano like we did in NXT and like we did in and what happened when we had the Black and Gold. And I'm down for that. I love DIY, and I'm happy they had their tag title run for a little bit, even if it was only, 20-some days. But I would love to see them go at it. Tommaso Ciampa, when he had Goldie, Black and Gold NXT, that Ciampa was one of the greatest of all times, and I want to see it on the main roster. So that's what we need to see with that. We also saw, and we had ourselves, the Women's U.S. Championship triple threat matches start, as we will be crowning a new Women's Championship. As you guys know, this match, and this is what will be, and this is what we'll be talking about in just a second. But we will get to, and we also had a Women's Championship match, as we saw Nia Jax and Naomi go at it, and Nia Jax defeated Naomi, but with the help of a woman that I didn't think we were going to see, and that was the Pixie Poison, Miss Candice LeRae. As Candice LeRae did compete in that triple threat match, we'll talk about it in a minute, but Candice LeRae came out to help Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax, and it looks like Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax, and they are going to be having themselves a little partnership with Candice LeRae. I was hoping Tiffany Stratton was going to cash in on Nia Jax just to be there live, because that would have been really cool, just to be there live to see that, but it did not happen. We saw them in the show with the three of them standing tall, and then we also saw the Bloodline. As I said, we saw the Bloodline and the Bloodline, fake Bloodline 2.0 fight. Everybody came out. Bronson Reed came out. But before the show ended and before the credits went across the screen, we saw Roman Reigns say, phone call. Or he said, hey, Siri, make a call. Or however the heck you do it. I don't know. I don't do that. But he said, hey, make a call. And I thought he was going to call Seth Rollins. I think a lot of people did. But he called the wise man, Mr. Paul Heyman. And the last time we saw the wise man, he got his butt kicked by Solo Sikoa. And he did not have himself a very good time. And we have not seen him since Solo destroyed his phone. So that would make sense. But it looks like we're going to see the wise man, Paul Heyman, possibly return very, very soon. And I'm excited for it. Yesterday's SmackDown wasn't the best show. It was a good show. You know how I feel about SmackDown and everything. But let's talk about the match that did start off the show. And let's talk about this tournament. As we saw, as I just said, we saw the match that was Bayley, Candice LeRae, and B-Fab. Shout out to B-Fab, guys, because B-Fab got a lot of TV time yesterday. And listen, you could say what you want about B-Fab and everything else like that, but B-Fab gonna be making some names and be making some noise, and you guys ain't gonna know what to do. But this match was a really good triple threat match. All three women went out there and did their thing. But in the end, and we did have a few near falls that I did think that B-Fab was gonna win. Even Candice LeRae I thought had a chance. But in the end, we saw Bayley pick up the win, and Bayley will be moving on. And then she will be facing the winner. That is Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, or Blair Davenport. And then in the other two triple threat matches, we got Jade Cargill, Meacham, and Piper Niven. And then in the other triple threat, we got Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Elektra Lopez. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to predict the rest of the Women's U.S. Championship tournament. And then I feel like, and yes, it has not been announced, and yes, it is on the thumbnail, but I think it is only a matter of time before we do see the Intercontinental Women's Championship, because there's no way Adam Pearce just sits there and goes, yeah, let the women on SmackDown have their title when we can't even have an IC title. Come on, you know it's happening sooner rather than later. But I'm going to now predict what I think. I'm going to predict what I want to happen, and then I'm going to predict what's going to happen. And as you see there, it looks like the main event and the finals of this tournament will happen at Saturday night, main event on December 14th. But we have Bayley, as you guys saw last night, Bayley won against B-Fab and Candice LeRae. Next week, it looks like we'll have Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, and Blair Davenport. Who do I want to win? I want Blair Davenport to win. But I feel like Bianca Belair is going to win. And then we are going to have Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Alexa Lopez. I think Naomi wins this. I think Naomi's going to get very far in this tournament, to be honest. So I'm going to say Naomi wins that one. Maybe Nia costs Tiffany. Tiffany gets distracted. And as much as I love our girl, Alexa Lopez, I just don't think it's time for her to win a title. But hey, if she wins, hey, move her on. Let's see her get some. Let's see her get some stuff. But I do hope she has some type of like a B-Fab moment where like B-Fab, I thought at one point was gonna win yesterday. But I'm gonna say Naomi wins. And then the last triple threat, it's Piper Niven, Meacham, and Jade Cargill. I'm gonna say that it's Jade Cargill winning this one. And yes, I do have both women's tag team champions making it to the final four. But I do not have them making it to the championship, as I think the finals of this match is going to be the two besties facing each other, and it's going to be Bayley against Naomi. I think Bayley and Naomi in the finals at Saturday Night Main Event for the Women's U.S. Championship, and I feel like we're going to see Bayley win this. It looks like Bayley's going to win and become the first champion. Like I said, I would love to see Blair Davenport or somebody like Tiffany Stratton, but Tiffany Stratton has missed Money in the Bank. It looks like she will be winning, and she'll be winning that title eventually, and we'll see what happens. But Tiffany Stratton, I don't think it's going to win. As I said, I think it's going to be Bayley and Naomi, with Bayley walking out as your new and your inaugural U.S. Women's Championship. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comments. How do you guys feel about the Women's Championship? Who do you guys think over on Smackdown, or I should say on Raw, who do you guys think over on Raw would be a good Women's IC Champion? Because I feel like we could see people like Maxine, Ivy Nile, Lyra Valkyra. We could see stuff like who else? I'm gonna while we're sitting here, and I'm gonna go through the chat real quick. I'm gonna go look up the Women's Raw roster real quick, and we're gonna come up with I'm gonna come up with 4 names that I think could be and possibly could be. All right, so that's okay. Current Raw. All right, so Alba Fire, Asuka, Becky Lynch. Yes, Becky Lynch is still there. Dakota Kai, Isla Dawn, Ivy Nile, Io Sky, as Io Sky will be going after and facing Liv Morgan up next. Kairi Sane, Katana Chance, Kaden Carter, Kiana James, Lyra Valkyra, Natalia, Rhea Ripley, Scarlett, Sonya Deville, Zoe Starks, and Zelina Vega. So if I'm going to give you 4 people out of that, I'm going to say Zelina Vega. I want to say that we will see Alba Fire, Zelina, Alba, Dakota, and I will say, I'll say a returning Asuka. Or no, because Asuka's out for a while. That's right. Asuka could very well be out. I'll say Lyra or Natalia. So that's who I think for the women's will be the final 4, depending on if they do a tournament. Again, the Women's Intercontinental Championship match is not announced. There is no tournament. There's no title as of right now. But I feel like it's only a matter of time before that title does become announced and before that title does become, and it officially does go out and everything else like that. Let's get to the chat real quick. Appreciate you, Michelle. Appreciate you sitting here hanging out. Matt needs to join his missus. He does. A lot of people pointed out Solo destroying the phone. Yes. Looking forward to Meacham and B-Fab teaming up. Yes, they will be teaming up again. That is one thing that did happen. B-Fab and Meacham will be teaming up to take on Chelsea Green and Piper Niven eventually, as it looks like that's what will be happening. Zelina and Lyra, yeah. I mean, like I said, I think it should be somebody like that. Give it to a superstar that we have not seen win. Give it to a superstar that we have not seen go out there and, we haven't seen some of these people have an opportunity. So don't just give it to the people that are, like obviously on SmackDown. Again, I would love Blair Davenport to win, but they're probably going to give it to Bayley. And I feel like somebody big will also win it on Raw or on SmackDown, or on Raw. Yeah, on Raw. But, I'm happy that they got it. And I'm happy the women are at least getting this opportunity. And speaking of opportunities, as you guys saw yesterday, had the opportunity to go to the CW premiere in Chicago, the WWE NXT show. As you guys were here and we watched the vlog yesterday, as I said, if you have not yet, go check it out. It is on the channel. We will be able to, and you will be able to go check it out after this episode, or if you're bored of me now and you want to check it out now, you can go ahead. But make sure you come back here, and if you are about to leave, because I want to show you the items that I received. I was able to finally get them yesterday after I got home, and now I'm here to show you the items that I got at the NXT show. And then, like I said, when we do the SmackDown vlog in a few weeks, I will show you what I got at SmackDown. But first, let's talk about NXT a little bit, because we did have ourselves the special guest referee match with Trick Williams and Ethan Page, and it was a really good match. But we also walked out with a really nice, and shout out to my mom because it was not in this, but we got a nice CM Punk poster, signed poster. Shout out to the man himself, the best in the world, CM Punk. As you guys know, they signed these posters before the show, but my mom put it in a nice little thing, and now we're going to hang it somewhere in my house, and I'll show you eventually. But that was not the only thing that we got, as we also got the Prodigy herself, Miss Roxanne Perez. We also got a poster signed by Roxanne. Roxy, women's champion, doing her thing right now. Only a matter of time before she's on the main roster. But we had to get it. I thought it was really cool. And I will say I did not get one at SmackDown yesterday. They had a Cody Rhodes one, but I already have a Cody Rhodes one. And I also did not get a shirt that they usually have where it says I was there, because it said Milwaukee Nightmare. And I'm sorry, I'm just not from Milwaukee, and I'm not from Wisconsin, so it just, I don't know. But when I went to NXT, we did get a t-shirt, and it does, and this one's pretty damn cool. Because I don't know, I was so excited. I thought it was going to happen, but it just didn't. And when I say the SmackDown shirts and everything else like that, or whatever shirts you go for, the Survivor Series shirts you guys see me wear, I just like the ones that have this where it says, I was there. Or you guys can't even see. Oh, there we go. There we go. I was there. It's at Chicago, Illinois, October 1st, 2021. And then on the front. And now if you were not at the show, you were not able to get this shirt. No, let me show you guys that one. The front of it, we got Roxanne, Trick, all of the good NXT superstars. We are NXT. But they didn't have one like that. This one, I was hoping for a SmackDown one, and it just didn't happen. That's okay. We did get a t-shirt, though, and I'll show you that t-shirt in the vlog. When the vlog does, like I said, come out in a few weeks. As I said, it won't be as long as the NXT one. But NXT was a good time. SmackDown was a great time. I'm killing it with shows now. I'm not like Too Sweet Kyle, because Too Sweet Kyle going to the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis. But I'll take the little wins, because eventually we could go to a Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and all those good shows. But we do have the War Games in a few weeks. Bloodline 2.0. It looks like we're gonna be having the OG Bloodline 2.0 with Bronson Reed. And it looks like eventually in the next few weeks, we'll see Seth Rollins join up finally with the OG Bloodline, as Seth Rollins is feuding with Bronson Reed. And we will have to see where that goes and what happens with those two guys and everything else like that. But it's going to be War in a few weeks, 2 weeks from today to be exact. Next week, we do have an AEW pay-per-view, as we will be here, and we will be doing a pre-show, and we will be live here for the show next week. And then the following week, we'll have War Games, and we'll be live, pre-show, all that good stuff. But that is all I got here for you guys today. I appreciate you all coming here and hanging out with me for this little half-hour episode, as we talked about all the news, the notes, the rumors, and all that good stuff that's been going down in the wrestling world. Try to catch up on everything. I know there are some things I do miss, but I hope we covered a lot, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, as I said, guys, and I always do say, remember to go and hit that like button. Follow all the social medias. Make sure that you go follow the OTM crew over there, the Main Event Network, all those good peoples, and all my good friends over there. Make sure you go follow Southside Boys 23. His White Sox stuff kind of heating up a little bit. maybe Southside Boys will come back for a Christmas episode. Southside Boys do have some stuff coming up in December, and I cannot wait to share for you guys. So keep an eye out for the Southside Boys for all of that. But until I see you back here on Monday night for Monday Night Raw and Monday Night Football, guys, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy Week 11 of the NFL football season. And I'll see you all Monday night for Monday Night Raw as we begin another new week here on Tino's Time. And Michelle, you are tonight's MVP.